expert woodsman who can cut down a tree more easily than most people can chop one up. When it really comes to tackling large lumps, you can't beat the men of the forestry companies.
An axeman's gathering.
This is Thomas losing the lumps that gets it.
How's everyone doing today? Amazing. What a great crowd we have here today. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship. My name is Lindsay Warnock, and I'm joined here by my co-host Ryan McIntyre, and we could not be more excited to be here in Prospera Place in the beautiful city of Kelowna, BC for our Canadian Series this year. Yesterday, we had an incredible day. We crowned for the second time in a row Ben Cumberland as our pro men's champion. But today, folks, it's all about the ladies. We are so excited. These athletes have been working so hard to get to this point, and today is where they get to show it all off. Ryan, you happen to be a former Steel Timber Sports athlete yourself. Why don't you let the folks at home and everyone here in the arena today know what's about to happen on this stage?
Yeah, absolutely, Lindsay. A pleasure to be here in Kelowna. Day 2, we saw our men's pro championship yesterday, but today, as you said, it is the women's national championship here in Canada, the 10th year of the national championship. We're the first nation to host one, and we're in year number 10. Big milestone, so that's huge to be here in Kelowna for that. We have our 8 top athletes from across the nation. They qualified through Western and Eastern qualifiers. They're here in Kelowna. They're going head-to-head in 4 Steel Timber Sports disciplines: the stock saw, the single buck, the underhand chop, and the standing block chop. At the end of that competition, the most accumulated points for the athletes, that will be the champion we crown, and then we're going to send our champion to the International World's Cup to represent Canada. Unbelievable, Lindsay. It's going to be an amazing day. I can't wait to kick things off.
I can't wait either, but before we get started, we of course have to thank our sponsors for making this event possible happen year after year. This year we have our title sponsor of Boston Pizza and our event sponsors of Bush Beer, Toyo Tires, and of course EcoFan. Thank you so much to our sponsors this year. But before we bring out our athletes, we have to bring out the most important component of this competition. Yes, we have our athletes, but we have our judges. They come out here making sure that all the cuts are good, that safety equipment is on, and that everyone stays really safe during this very extreme sport.
Yeah.
So let's introduce our judges. Do we want to meet our judges, folks? Coming out to the stage, official Steel Timber Sports judge, Roger Briscoe. Coming out from Vancouver Island, BC.
There you go, right behind Roger, official Steel Timber Sports judge Darren Colford. Joining us from New Brunswick. Got an east-west coverage there.
And finally, we have our conducting judge, or our man on the mic. We're going to be hearing his red velvet voice all day today, folks. Give it up for official Steel Timber Sports judge, Jonathan Russell.
The judges have an incredibly important role here. They keep things fair, they keep things safe, and we're very fortunate to have an amazing judge team. Big hand for our judges. They're going to make sure everything runs nice and smooth here today, Lindsay.
All right, folks, are you ready to meet your athletes? Coming up first, we have from Grand Prairie, Alberta, make some noise for Danielle Koch.
Danielle was our first ever Canadian champion, the first ever women's champion of the Steel Timber Sports Series. Give her a big hand. 10 years, going strong in the Steel Timber Sports Series.
She wants another spot on that podium, folks.
You bet she does. All right, right behind Danielle, a fellow Albertan making her Brand new, her very first appearance on the Steel Timber Sports stage from Fort McMurray, Marie Derrieux.
Sounds like Marie has a lot of fans in the crowd tonight.
Yep.
Going to be cheering her on all day long. Okay, coming up next from Niagara Falls, Ontario, make some noise for Madeline McInnes.
Her second year on the stage. She made a big impact last year. Back to possibly secure a podium spot this year. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, coming up next.
All the way from Westchester Station, Nova Scotia, please welcome Cameron Finley. The Nova Scotia Lumberjill, as she's known.
She's the one that always comes out on the stage with a great attitude. She's just a pleasure to be around backstage and on the stage.
Absolutely.
She's a great Steel Timber Sports athlete. We're happy to have her back here on the Steel Timber Sports stage. Coming up next from Riversdale, Nova Scotia, it's Caitlin Reed.
Former Canadian champion looking to chase down another title. Can absolutely do it. Always great to see Caitlin back. Fierce competitor.
Great sawyer, great chopper, all around great Steel Timber Sports athlete. These are the best of Canada so far.
That's right. Behind Caitlin, we have from Ormstown, Quebec, Andrea LaSalle. Back again for another year, a fierce competitor. She set some incredible times in the standing block, which is a relatively new event to the women's series, and she's clearly very competent in that. I'm looking forward to see her in that event and others.
Yeah, she's been incredibly focused this weekend, setting up everything to exact liking. She knows what she needs to do to come out on the stage and potentially take the podium.
That's right.
All right, we have two more athletes still for you. Coming up from Caslow, BC, make some noise for Andrea Hand!
Andrea podiumed last year. She is chasing down her first national title. She is a strong contender here today. And she's basically from just right down the road, Lindsay. This is pretty much a hometown show for her.
It really, truly is. She's got lots of fans in the crowd here today.
You bet.
Coming to this competition for many, many years. She runs a Caslow show herself, the Logger Sports Show. She knows the sport inside and out.
You bet. And these competitors are going to have their hands full because the returning and reigning champion from Sutton, Quebec is coming to the stage. Please welcome Stephanie Naud.
An absolute powerhouse in this sport. Stephanie Naud, she has made quite the impression the past few years on the Steel Timber Sports stage.
Yeah, she's broken national and world records in several events. She's an incredible athlete, a true contender anywhere she steps on a stage, and she's looking to take home another national title. She has two already. She
has two. She wants to. She wants 3 for 3, that's for sure. All right, folks, give it up for your 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian athletes. Now, if you may, please rise and remove your hats for the Canadian National Anthem. it, folks. Put those flags in the air and let's say goodbye to our athletes as they get ready for the first heat of the day.
Oh, man, Lindsay.
We are starting off hot. 4 disciplines here today.
That's right.
The stock saw, the standing block. Sounds like they're warming up the saws already.
Yeah, we're going to take you through a stock saw discipline explanation, but basically they're going to be running off-the-shelf MS661 chainsaws. These saws have a 20-inch bar. They're roughly 93 cc's. For comparison, your average home saws maybe 50 to 60 cc's. So these are big saws. They got 16 inches of lathe-turned western white pine. They measure in from the end of the log. That's what these judges are doing right now. They're marking up 4 inches of wood. The competitors are able to pick up the saw, make one cut down, one cut up. Away you go. We saw some pretty fast times in the stock saw yesterday in the men's division, Lindsay. I wouldn't be surprised to see some quick ones today as well.
You got it. That first heat from Adrian and versus Marie, it's gonna start us off hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Wood Crew making the last final adjustments. They're warming up the saws in the back. We're gonna get started with this first heat in just a few seconds. Before we get started with this heat, let's learn a little bit more about the stock saw discipline.
Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark, one downward and one upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
There you have it, and of course, our stock saw competition is sponsored by Toyo Tires. Be sure to go to the Toyo booth at Gate 1 to enter to win a set of Toyo Tires. Ooh. You're not going to want to miss that. Yesterday, they ran out of ballots, so you want to hit there as soon as you can, but not before this first heat. Okay, folks, we're ready for our first heat of the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Andrea LaSalle!
Going head-to-head with Andrea is Marie Delieu. Resident of Nova Scotia currently, but originally from Fort Mac. Both of these competitors have come out of the Canadian Intercollegiate Series. McGill University, Andrea, and Dal AC in Truro, Nova Scotia for Marie.
And like we said, this is Marie's first time on the Steel Timber Sports stage, but I have a feeling not going to be her last.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, training a lot with Jeff Larkin and Andrea, training a lot with Stephanie Naud. They've got top-tier, high-level competitors that can teach them all these little skills. So even though they're new to the sport, new to the discipline, new to the Steel Series, they're going to come in well prepared.
Exactly.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for both of our competitors, Andrea and Marie. And it's looking like simultaneous up. Who's it gonna be? And it's Andrea with the unofficial time of 13.35 seconds. Marie Duriot right behind her, 14.45 unofficial time. Judges taking a look at the blocks, making sure they were well within those 4 inches of wood. Like we said before, they have to make 2 cuts. Judges will make the final call on whether the cut was good or not.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news. That's the way we want to start off at the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Champion. We're going to hear from Andrea Hand in just a second.
All right, folks, I'm here with Andrea Hand LaSalle. Andrea Hand, great cut there to start off with the stock saw. Very quick to the wood, smooth all the way through. No bogs, no hangs, no nothing. How'd you feel about the cut overall?
I'm happy with the cut. Stock saw has never been my favorite event. I don't practice it as much as I should. So just having a clean cut and getting a few points here, it's a good start for me. I know this time probably won't hold, but it's a good start.
Hey, listen, you never know how the times hold up in the stock saw. A great start for Andrea Hand. Big hand for her here at the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship.
Great news for Andrea Hand, setting a personal best with an unofficial time of 13.35 seconds. Her personal best before was 15 seconds. She shaved 2 seconds off her personal best. That's what happens here on the Steel Timber Sports stage, and we're going to see more sawing in just a few minutes.
Great race there, Lindsay. Both of those athletes, it was a very even race. You had them both to the wood of the same, basically the same disc with the, the change over the same. Marie had that slight bobble, that slight bog on her second cut. If it wasn't for that, she might have had her.
She definitely could have, and that can, if you can rush right at the very end, that's where it can, you get the level just a bit off. That's where it can kind of hurt you at the end.
Yeah,
you want it too much.
Yeah, it's a game of inches. You're pushing hard and you have to apply pressure, but if you apply a bit too much, boy, you can bog that saw and slow it down. If you go too light, you slow down. It's a real. It's a tough race. It's a very tough race. We call it the equalizer.
That is exactly right. This is all down to the athlete's skill, not to their gear. The rest of the events, they have gear that is completely tailored to their skill level, but this, they have the exact same saws, and Andrea Hand was setting the time to beat at 13.24 seconds, folks, so keep an eye on the clock for this next heat. We're ready for our next heat of the stock saw. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Caitlin Reed!
Head-to-head with Caitlin on stand number 2, it's Madeline McInnes. Madeline, Caitlin as well, both came through the Canadian Intercollegiate Series. Madeline through Sir Sanford Fleming College in Ontario, and Caitlin through the DAL AC, NSAC.
Both great sawyers. They know the saw very well. They practice all the time. You can see them making the marks onto their wood. They know exactly where they want to cut. Like we said before, they only have 4 inches of wood. That's in 2 cuts to make. That's not a lot of room for error for these athletes. So they have to make sure, especially that first cut goes as well as they can to make room for that second.
Yeah, and they'll train making those little marks just so that it's a bit of a guide, a bit of a reminder, because you're going quick. You want to hit that mark, make that full cut.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, Caitlin Reed right behind Madeline McInnes on stand number 2. Madeline McInnes first on the exchange. She's having to go back, reset, so she has a complete cookie. Caitlin Reed making up time. Here we go. There you have it, folks. Let's have a big hand for your athletes. Caitlin Reed dancing with the devil with that warm-up, a really short warm-up. We'll see how the judges think about those cuts. Looks like we have a yellow penny on stand number 2. It might be cutting over the line.
On stand 1, we have a good cut. On stand number 2, we have a DQ for cut over the line.
Too bad for Madeline McInnes. but let's give her a hand, folks. That's some tough luck out there on the STIHL Timber Sports stage, but that is what happens. Caitlin Reed, even with her short warm-up and a bit of a longer time, still came in with a good cut. We're going to hear from her in just a few seconds.
Okay, folks, here with Caitlin Reed. Caitlin, I want you to talk me through that whole cut because there were some issues getting the saw warmed up. You didn't have a proper warm-up, really. It wouldn't go, and then, you know, you came over, so it wasn't, you know. Talk us through that one, Caitlin.
Yeah, that was rough. So the saw really didn't want to go, and then just before the heat got called, it took. So of course you had to run it, and it bogged the whole way. You could hear it going, and it would not cut that wood. So I'm happy I got a time, but we will see where that puts me.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe not a super fast time. However, slow time better than no time. You get some points out of this one. Move on to the next. Up next, we have the standing block. How are you feeling about the standing overall, Caitlin?
Standing, I'm just going to hope that it comes together. It's been a rough event for me to pick up in a short amount of time, but here's hoping it goes well.
All right, big hopes out here for Caitlin Reed, your former Canadian champion, right here in Kelowna, the 2024 STIHL Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship.
You gotta hand it to Caitlin Reed, maintaining her cool under pressure, not having the warm-up that she wanted, but still making it come together at the end. That's, you know, that's what makes these athletes the best in the country. Even though not the time she wanted, like you said, it was a clean cut, and that's all you can ask for in the stock saw, really.
Yeah, you know, those warm-ups are so important. You want to clear fuel, you want to clear any chips out of there. She didn't have time to get that proper warm-up, so the saw wasn't running at its optimum RPMs all the way through the wood, and that's why it cut slow, but she got a time. Madeline, on the other hand, didn't get any time, so she gets no points. It's 8 points to the winner of this discipline. That gets counted towards the next discipline and the next discipline, so a DQ is huge in a 4-event horse race. This is not how you want to start.
Yeah, it's not the way she wanted. I mean, you saw her try to make it work. That first on her exchange, you could see that she didn't really get that clean cookie that she was looking for, so she had to go back, reset, and that is probably where that over the line happened for her. That is, it's tough luck. She tried to make it work, and you know, we're going to see Madeline McInnes come back, especially with a single buck in her hand. She's going to do fine.
Definitely.
Okay, folks, we're ready for our next heat of the Toyo Tires stock saw. Coming up on stand number 1, she's your former Canadian champion, Stephanie Naud!
Head-to-head with Stephanie on stand number 2, it's Cam Finley. Stephanie's got 2 national titles, including last year's to her name. Cam, relatively new to the STIHL Timber Sports stage. Qualified through the Eastern Qualifier this year. Very competent sawyer, Lindsay.
Very competent sawyer.
Yeah, either one of these individual athletes could take down this event, no doubt about it. You see them making those marks. Again, it's a rough guide. It's almost like you'll see it in the chopping disciplines as well. It gives you, you know, a rough guide, but you're operating in milliseconds when you're competing in these events. They're very fast. They're sprints.
Exactly. And it looks like Andrea Hand still holds the time to beat. That's 13.24 seconds.
Yeah, great start for her.
Yeah, Stephanie Naud, absolutely a contender, could beat that. We'll see how Cameron does well.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for both the competitors. You can see the slope Stephanie Naud using first on the exchange. Cameron Finley right on her tail, folks. Who's it gonna be? Wow, Stephanie Naud taking the unofficial time of 13.07 seconds, but Cameron Finley right on her tail. She's really happy about that time. We love the cohesion between the competitors. They're cheering each other on. Cameron Finley walking away with an unofficial time of 13.83 seconds. They're looking for 2 good cuts, but the judges will make that final call.
And we've got 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news for both of our competitors, Cameron Finley and Stephanie Naud. We're going to hear from Stephanie about how that cut went.
Okay, folks, here with Stephanie Naud. Stephanie, beautiful cut, pretty smooth all the way through. Anything you would change? You had that back, looked like a pretty good cut to me.
I'm really happy with that. Probably not the best technical cut I could have done. I wanted to take a bit more time to set the saw right on my first cut down to make sure I had enough room for my upcut. I wasn't too sure I took it wide enough on my up, so I kind of twisted it a bit. So if I went up straight, it would have been a bit faster, but I'm really happy it's over with.
Steering the saw a little bit on that cut. You know, at the end of the day, that's a new leading time. With 1 heat to go, you're in a great position to earn some great points in the stock saw, and then it's on to your bread and butter, the chopping events. Keep an eye on Stephanie Naud. She's your reigning champion, trying to take home a 3rd title right here in Kelowna, the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship.
Not bad for Stephanie Naud. Her official time is 13.07 seconds. That is a personal best for Stephanie. And that's what we've seen all weekend here on the STIHL Timbersports stage. The lights, the crowd, all the electricity of the stage just is pushing these athletes to their absolute best, getting a lot of personal bests out here. Stephanie Naud really happy about that time of 13.07 seconds. But we still have 1 more heat still to go, and that's Andrea Hand and Danielle Koch, both excellent sawyers. They know how to read the wood, they know how to use those saws, and we're going to see really fast times on the stage in this last heat. Yeah, both are incredibly comfortable in this event, and it's a very challenging event, a very mental event. You know, the physicality that you see in those other disciplines, it's not the same as in the stock saw, where it's really about being a technician, being about an efficient operator, listening to the RPMs of the saw, paying attention to the pitch of the bar as it cuts through the wood. Rush it, apply too much pressure, you're not going to be coming home with those steel points. And like you said about the steel points, Stephanie Naud currently sitting at the top position with 8 steel points. Andrea LaSalle keeping her 2nd place position with 7, and Cameron Finley with that time of 13.75. She's got 6 steel points right now. That's our top 3, but we're ready for our next heat. Coming up on stand number 1 from Alberta, make some noise for Danielle Koch! And on stand number 2, Andrea Hand. Caslow native, BC, Alberta. Western Canadian showdown in the final heat of the stock saw. And both of these competitors, they are veterans of the STIHL Timbersports stage. We've seen them year after year do incredible work. We're going to see a great heat between Danielle Koch and Andrea Hand. Absolutely. Remember, Danielle was our first ever champion 10 years ago, 2014. Still going strong, looking for another title.
Warm up your saws. .07 seconds is the time to beat, folks.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for Danielle Koch. Andrea Hand right on her tail. And it's Andrea first on the exchange. Danielle right there with her. We're at the 11-second mark. And it's Andrea Hand with 12.77 seconds unofficial time. She knew what she wanted, folks, and she came out here and got it. Oh no, it looks like we have a yellow penny for stand number 2, Andrea Hand. Judges taking a look at the block. Those 2 cookies looking, that second cookie especially. Like we said, there's only 4 inches of wood to get 2 cuts. Andrea Hand really riding that line. Judges will make the final call.
So after close inspection of the block, we have 2 good cuts.
A breath of relief for Andrea Hand. Holy smokes, she's feeling good about that with an unofficial time of 12.7 seconds. Not bad. She's kicking Stephanie Naud out of that first place position after this first discipline of the STIHL Timbersports Championship.
All right, folks, I'm here with Andrea Hand. Andrea, the drama, the anxiety, it's all or nothing there. You took down the stock saw. Official time, 12.63 seconds, a beautiful cut. Oh, so close to that line. Take us through the emotion of the stock saw and getting that call, the green light on that one.
Well, I mean, you got to put it all out there on the floor, so I wasn't going to make a cautious cut. It could have been better. Jonathan has a good resting face, so when he is going to review your cut, you're a bit nervous for sure.
Well, listen, now you can rest after the stock saw, but not for very long because we got the standing block up next. I know you like the standing block. You've been training it hard. Your cut last year was phenomenal. How are you feeling about the standing overall, Andrea?
Yeah, I think it's my new favorite. I've been spending a lot of time on it, and I'm just really enjoying it.
Hey, it's my favorite too. I can't wait to see Andrea cut her standing block. Big hand for her, kicking things off with a win in the stock saw, the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship.
Now, folks, normally we would move on to our second discipline, but it looks like due to her saw not functioning properly, we are going to let Caitlin Reed have another stab at the stock saw. That'll definitely, hopefully, help her out. Right now, she needs a better time, and so we're going to let her run again.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is not uncommon. It happens when you have a mechanical issue, and that can happen sometimes. That gets reviewed, it gets discussed with the judges. Our global sports director, Nathan Waterfield, is here representing the athletes, stepping up for them in these situations, and the call has been made that she does deserve another cut, and that's a fair way of delivering the competition. We want the best for our athletes, and we want a fair competition. This is a great job.
Absolutely, and like we said before, this is the equalizer, so all the saws have to be finely tuned and running the same so that everyone has a fair chance at the most points possible.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, we're ready to have Caitlin Reed come back to the stage. Make some noise for her. Now, running by herself, a little bit of a different situation. Running by yourself, you don't really have that same kind of edge of competing against somebody else on the stage. So we really got to we got to raise the energy up for Caitlin Reed in this one.
I mean, if there is an event to go alone in, it's probably this one. You know, you're kind of in your own head. You've got the muffs on, you've got the saw going. You don't hear the other competitor like you would in the chopping or sawing events, the other ones. But either way, yeah, it is a bit different when you're running alone. But this is a great opportunity for Caitlin to step up. She knows the time to beat.
It's 12.63 seconds.
Beautiful cut there, too.
Set by Andrea Hand. Let's see this warm up.
Warm up your saw.
That's what we wanted to see. Caitlin Reed knows the MS660 like no one else, so we know that she needed this second run.
Athlete ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for Caitlin Reed. Really thin cookie to start. She's on the exchange at 7 seconds. She's got lots of room to grow. Come on, Caitlin! Nice! Unofficial time of 14.66 seconds. Judge is going to take a look at both the cookies, make sure that it is a good cut.
And we have a good cut.
Fantastic news. Thank you so much to STIHL Timbersports for making sure that this event stays equal between all of our athletes, and Caitlin Reed getting that second chance.
All right, folks, I'm here again with Caitlin Reed. Caitlin, the saw had some issues on that first run. You called it as soon as you said, it was bogging, it wasn't running properly. You had a second cut at it. You gained, 4 seconds in time and a few more steel points. What is it? What's going through your head when they tell you, okay, you're going to get another cut at this?
I mean, I was very thankful to get another cut because, the saw just wasn't cooperating for me in that first run. I definitely could have ran a little bit better, but I'm happy that I was given the opportunity to cut again.
Yeah, very fair way to deal with that for the judges. We're very thankful when they even things out for the athletes. But great job from Caitlin stepping up, getting her second cut here on the steel stage at the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championships.
And of course, if you're feeling confident, want to set up a stock saw dummy in your backyard, you can pick up one of these MS660s at anywhere of your steel dealers. You can pick up one of these saws, start your stock saw competition right there in your backyard. I mean, that's how a lot of these athletes started. They train right in their backyard, so you could be one of them.
Oh yeah, everybody can do it.
All right, that is it for our stock saw discipline. We have our final standings after our first discipline of the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship right here in Kelowna, BC. In our 7th position with 2 points, it's Caitlin Reed. In our 6th place position with 3 points, it's Marie Duriot. In 5th place position, we have 4 points, Cameron Finley. In our 4th place position with 5 points, Danielle Koch. And our top 3 moving into our next discipline, we have Andrea LaSalle with 6 points, Stephanie Naud with 7 points, and Andrea Hand with 8 points. Fantastic. Let's have a big hand for our athletes here, folks. Andrea Hand going to be really happy about that first discipline. We're moving into the standing block chop. This is definitely the newest discipline for our athletes. Only got added to the competition last year.
Yeah, it hasn't been around very long, but these athletes are certainly putting the time into training, making sure that they're competent in the event. It's a very challenging event. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to control. The axe and the gravity and being able to maintain your composure as you're pounding through these 11-inch cottonwood logs. It's my favorite event to compete in and watch.
It truly is, but before we get started with this next event, we're gonna call out our Timber team to the stage. We've got lots of giveaways all day long, so make sure you put your hands in the air. It looks like they've got some flags out here for everyone. So put your hands in the air, make some noise for our Timber team. There's lots more giveaways to happen all day today. It's our STIHL Timbersports Canadian flags. They're really good little flags. Great souvenirs to take home. And if you're looking for more souvenirs to take home, head out to the concourse. We have our STIHL merchandise. We have shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts, water bottles, hats, tons of gear that you can get outfitted with our STIHL outfitters and take home a piece of STIHL Timbersports with you on the way home.
Andrea Hand has to be happy with that result. Boy, that was so close, Lindsay. Nearly a DQ, which is 0 points now. Instead, she's sitting in our top spot with 8 steel points. Again, 8 points awarded to the winner of each of our 4 disciplines. A maximum of 32 points that could be awarded over the series of the competition if you won all 4 events. Incredibly challenging to do, but it could be done.
It absolutely could. These athletes are the best in Canada. They've gone through their qualifiers on the East Coast and the West Coast, so these are the best of the best, and these are the competitors to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what a close race. There was only a second and a quarter that separated first from 7th. I mean, that's a pretty tight race.
It's pretty tight.
12.6 and 14.5, so just about 2 seconds in between first and 7th place. That's pretty darn close.
It's very close.
Just getting ready. Our wood crew. We have a fantastic wood crew out here making sure that these stands are bolted down. They're fastened underneath that stage so that they cannot move. It makes sure that they are stable and steady. When these athletes cut into these logs, you don't want that log moving back and forth, flexing, because that absorbs the hit, and you're not getting as much power generated at each swing. You want that log to stay exactly where it is so it simulates felling a tree, Lindsay, in the standing block.
Exactly. And it looks like we have a lot of former pro Steel Timber Sports athletes on the stage helping out the wood crew. We've got our wood boss, that's Wayne the Lightning Paulson. We've seen him year after year. Let's give a hand to Wayne Paulson, our wood boss of the day.
How about the Godfather?
There we go.
Carl Bischoff.
Carl Bischoff as well.
There he is.
These guys want to make sure that these stands are completely stable so our athletes have the best cut possibly.
Well, and they know what it means to not have things set up properly, so they make sure and do a good job of it.
All right, let's find out a little bit more about the standing block chop.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
Okay, folks, we're ready for our first heat of the standing block chop. Make some noise for Danielle Koch!
Going head-to-head with Danielle, another former Canadian champion on stand number 2. You just saw her, Caitlin Reed. So Lindsay, in the stock saw they were cutting through western white pine. In the wood chopping events, in the standing block and the underhand, they're actually cutting through a different type of wood species. It's cottonwood. This is 11-inch cottonwood. It's beautiful wood. Mitch Hewitt supplied this. We saw it cut yesterday in the men's pro championship, and it cut beautifully. I've been super excited to see how it's going to cut in the women's championship. We could very well see a record here today.
We definitely could. Yeah, all of the athletes are very impressed with the wood this year. I mean, you know, the better the wood, the better the cut. And so
well, you want it nice, fresh, green wood. A lot of people say, "Oh, do you want it dry like firewood?" Absolutely not.
No.
These are high-test racing axes, racing saws. You want fresh, green timber.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. It's your first heat of the standing block chop. You got to cheer on your athletes. Here we go. A great start for both of our competitors. Danielle Koch on stand number 1 versus Caitlin Reed on stand 2. Caitlin Reed making her turn. She's really good about that front side. A bit of a glance there, but she's getting that rhythm back. Danielle Koch making sure she's ready to start her backside. There we go. Looking good. Come on, you got to make some noise for your athletes, folks. There we go. Looks like Caitlin Reed needs to get a bit more. Holy smokes, she's done it. 35.27 seconds. She was not wasting time. But if you're the last one standing, you got to make some extra noise for Danielle Koch. Here we go, Danielle. Looking good. She's hitting it as hard as she can. She's got to reach. There we go. That's the hit she was looking for. Getting those chips out of the way. It's looking good. She's got to keep breathing. She can see it starting to wiggle now. Come on, Danielle. There it is. Great times for both of our competitors. Caitlin Reed with an unofficial time of 35.27 seconds. She was feeling nervous about this event, but that was a great run.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news for both of our competitors, Caitlin Reed and Danielle Koch. A great first heat of our standing block chop, but we've got 3 more heats still to go. Let's hear from Caitlin Reed in just a second.
All right, gang, here with Caitlin Reed. Caitlin, beautiful start to the standing block. The wood cut well, 35 seconds. Pretty sure that's a personal best. Great looking cut. How'd you feel about that one?
Altogether, I feel happy about it. I mean, like I said, I'm struggling with this event, and to get 35 seconds in the first heat for me is great. I know it's not going to stand very long, but it's a good start to the beginning after stock saw.
So that's the first time cutting this cottonwood, I believe, for you. How did you find that wood reacted to the axe choice that you made?
Amazing. I mean, I had a lot of hits that I could have done better, and in that it would have saved me time, but I love the axe, and it was chipping out great.
All right, good sign and a good start here. Caitlin running good here today, the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship.
Fantastic news for Caitlin Reed. Her official time, let's find out what our official time here is. 34.97 seconds. Not too shabby. That is a new national record for Caitlin Reed in that event. Fantastic news. Amazing. We may see that record broken in the next few heats. We'll see if that time stands. We have 3 more heats still to go in the standing block chop.
Really nice start there for Caitlin. Official time 34.97, just under the 35-second mark. I'm seeing the real deal here. I think we have a new national record.
Yes, yeah, just said
this
it.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible.
I mean, that just goes to show what quality timber can do, fast cutting timber, that cottonwood, and that's only the first heat.
Exactly, and not only that, but just Caitlin Reed coming into this event, she said this is the newest, it is the newest discipline for our Steel Timber Sports athletes on the stage here today. She said, you know, it's a short amount of time to learn a new discipline, but boy, oh boy, a national record in that heat. She's going to be feeling really good about that.
Yeah, definitely. The world record in this event, 30.02. I'd say it's in striking distance today.
It really is.
We have, 6 more competitors, any one of them capable of doing it.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think it's great. I know Caitlin Reed's been working her butt off to get to this stage here. We saw her last year come back after a year or so away, and she's been coming back with a vengeance. She wants that top podium spot. She watched Stephanie Naud come in when she was away, and you can really see the competition between the two of them there. Both pro women's championships. They can do it.
Yeah, Caitlin's a 2016 national champion. She's been chasing a second one. She's podiumed many times.
Yep.
I mean, you put in times like that, you're putting yourself in you're a contender.
Absolutely, you are. But don't go anywhere, folks. We got 3 more heats still to go. Okay, folks, we're ready for Heat 2. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Cameron Finley.
Head-to-head with Cameron on stand number 2, Marie Durieux. Nova Scotia versus Alberta both came out of the DAL AC program. Different eras.
Cameron Finley had a great run with her stock saw. Very pleased with it. She had those 2 good cuts.
Yep.
Great time. So she's going to be looking to take away as many steel points as she can in this next discipline.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. Cam used to cut standing blocks. I coached Cam at the DAL AC years ago. She used to cut standing block for that team. I believe Murray has also cut some standings in the college years. So, even though it's new to the Steel Series, she's saying no. That's fine. I'm sure she's been cutting them with Jeff anyway.
There you go.
Regardless, any practice is good practice when it comes to this event.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Solid start for Marie on stand number 2, first to the wood, and it's Cameron Finley on stand number 1, working her way through it, but they can't hear you, folks. You got to make some noise for them. Great work for both, really opening up that front side. Nice work for Marie. She's hitting her marks. She knows what she needs to do. She's moving to that other side. Come on, Marie. Nice work. And it's Cameron Finley on stand number 1. She's making her turn. Come on, make some noise for them. Like we said, this is the newest discipline for our competitors, and they are making a great show of it. Marie on stand number 2, looking big swings. That was exactly the hit she wants. Look at the wood exploding out of that block, and she's done. Nicely done there, Marie, with an unofficial time of 46 seconds, but it's Cameron Finley on stand number 1. She's still rocking away, folks. You got to make some noise for her. Here we go, looking good, Marie. Her arms must be burning now, but she's going to keep going and keep breathing. She's fighting through the power. Come on, Cameron. There we go. Bit of a sticky spot there, but she's got to keep on finding that slope in the axe. There we go. There we go. She's getting coaching from the audience. They got to make some noise. We've only got 1 second. Unfortunately, a timeout for Cameron Findlay, but she needs as much cheering as possible, folks. Her lungs are burning, her arms are burning. Great effort from Cameron Findlay, but it's Marie on stand number 2 with an unofficial time of 46.21 seconds. Judges will make that final call.
On this stand, we have a good cut. On this stand, a DQ exceeded the time limit.
There you have it, folks. Big hand for Cameron and Marie. It's a DQ on stand number 1. That means no points, but there's still more events for Cameron to make up those coveted steel points.
With Marie Derrieux. Marie, that was a beautiful cut, really. You gave me the nod saying, no, this wasn't one of my collegiate events, but sometimes that works in your favor. You're learning it properly right from the start, no bad habits. I thought you cut that very well. How'd you feel about the cut overall?
It was a good cut. It was, I got it done.
You got it done for sure, but a 45-second cut on this wood, not a bad start to the day. How are you feeling about being in the STIHL Timbersport series on the big stage here in Kelowna?
I don't know how I got here, but I'm glad it came.
I know how she got here. She qualified through the Eastern qualifier, and she's doing a great job here in Kelowna. Big hand for Marie Derrieux from Fort Mac, right here at the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Women's Championship.
What a great introduction to Marie. First time on the STIHL Timbersport stage, and definitely not the last. What an incredible standing block chop for Marie. She's coming in with a personal best of 45.95 seconds. Caitlin Reed holding on to her time of 34.97 seconds. That is still the time to beat, but a great first standing block chop for Marie Derrieux.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I'd be very happy with that. Again, this event, it's a very challenging, very technical event. It takes a long time to master this one, Lindsay. Years, decades, honestly. So, to jump on this stage and be able to deliver that cut, that puts her in good position. I mean, if that time were to hold in the current spot, she'd get some pretty good steel points. So
Absolutely.
We'll see. But boy, Caitlin Reed, what a cut to start there.
Yeah.
National record, sub 35.
Yeah, it's a great time, but we still have 2 heats still to go. Stephanie Naud coming up in this next heat. She uses her height to her advantage in this event. She's an absolute powerful, heavy hitter in the standing block chop. And it looks like our wood crew's almost done, getting ready for this next heat. Blowing away a little bit of the chips there, making sure that everyone has a nice clear space to make this chop.
I think either one of these next athletes could bring that time to beat down. They both have the chance. Madeline McInnes, good standing block cutter. We saw her last year.
Well, she's definitely looking to make up those steel points from that DQ and the stock saw.
That's right.
She knows the pressure is on.
Now's the time.
All right. We're ready for our next heat. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Madeline McInnes.
Head to head with Madeline on stand number 2, Stephanie Naud.
Like we said, Madeline McInnes coming up after that first DQ in the stock saw. She knows how valuable these points are and how much she needs to make up the time in this standing block chop.
Yeah, you have to, as an athlete, set that past event behind you. It's over, it's done with. You live in the present, you live in the moment. You cut the log that you've got to cut in front of you. And I think she has a great opportunity, same as Stephanie, to put in a beautiful cut here today. It's great wood. This cottonwood is cutting phenomenally. We've seen personal bests all weekend.
It really is. Like you said, we see personal bests all weekend, and we know that Stephanie Naud is a great standing block chop. That's going to only push Madeline further.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And we got simultaneous start for both Madeline McInnes and Stephanie Naud. Bit of a glance, big glance for Stephanie Naud, but she's getting that rhythm back. Here we go. Look at the big hits from Madeline McInnes on stand number 1. Looking good. Pieces just falling out. That's what she wants to see. She's feeling good about that front side. She's moving to the back. Make some noise for Madeline McInnes and Stephanie Naud. Stephanie Naud making up time. She's on that backside as well. Looking good. Here we go. It's going to come down to the last few hits for both of our competitors. Who's it going to be? It's Stephanie Naud. Come on, Madeline. There it is. Great heat for both of our competitors. Stephanie Naud with an unofficial time of 38.42 seconds. Madeline McInnes right on her tail with 43.13 seconds. Not bad of a heat for both of our competitors. They're going to be walking away happy with that cut.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Great news for both of our competitors. Big hand for both of them, working hard, making those points work. Stephanie Naud coming right behind Caitlin Reed, still with that 34.97 seconds, but a great cut nonetheless. That's going to be lots of great steel points to add up at the end of this discipline.
All right, folks, here with Stephanie Naud. Stephanie, good cut, 38 seconds roughly. We'll see how that drops ending in the official time. But overall, how'd you feel about the standing block cut there?
Not my best one. I got a little rushed at the beginning. I was trying to put oil on my axe. I ran away with time. So I wasn't completely ready to go as we started. So I scooped my first hit. And then I had a wood chip that was caught on my axe, so I was like, do I hit it again? And that was another wasted hit. So I could have picked up a couple seconds, but overall I'm happy with it.
Well, still a very competitive time. Puts you in the second spot overall with just 1 heat to go. You know you're going to get good points in the event. This is a really good start. This is where you want to be. You've got 2 of your best events coming up. How do you prepare now? With the stocks on, standing block gone, single buck, underhand coming up. What goes through your mind as you prepare for those events?
I'm excited to do the last 2. They're my best events and my favorite events, so I'm really looking forward to them, and I'm going to give it all I got.
All right, keep an eye on Stephanie Naud. She's your reigning Canadian champion right here, Kelowna at the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship.
Excellent work for Stephanie Naud. She's your former Canadian champion. She's looking to take home yet another championship on this stage. We're going to be crowning your 2024 Pro Women's Champion at the end of the last discipline. That will be our underhand chop. We've got more chopping, more sawing coming up, so don't go anywhere, folks.
Yeah, the cut there from Stephanie. Couple of hiccups, a glancing blow to open up, and then a chip caught on her axe. And only 3 seconds off the national record, even with those missteps. So I still think it's well within striking distance, but Caitlin Reed, her record from the first heat, still hanging on. Does it hang on for this heat? I don't know. We have 2 incredible cutters coming up, Lindsay.
It's hard to tell. Andrea Hand had a great opening start with her stock saw.
She did.
She's like right on the line, and I think she's going to be riding that line for the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
She knows that
She's
luck
hungry.
is on her side.
And she's hungry for her first national title. That's simple as that. She wants it bad.
Exactly. Yeah, we saw a great qualifier for Andrea Hand in this event, the standing block. You know, she's putting in the time for this event, and it's really showing.
Absolutely. Andrea LaSalle as well. She put in a great cut here last year on the steel stage. Another great cut at the qualifier, the Eastern qualifier. Either one of these 2, potentially both, could drop that leading time of 34.97 seconds, but we'll have to wait and see.
We're ready for our next heat of the standing block chop coming up on stand number 1. Make some noise for Andrea Hand!
Head-to-head with Andrea in her final heat, Andrea LaSalle.
It's East Coast versus West Coast on the stage. Andrea Hand representing Caslow, BC. And Andrea from Quebec all the way here, made it all the way here for the event. That's quite the distance to come, but she's here. She wants that championship.
Yeah, these 2 don't get the opportunity to compete head-to-head very often, both on opposite coasts. That's the beauty of the Steel Timber Sports Series. We get the best in the nation going head-to-head at our national championships.
And sometimes for the very first time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I am on edge for this final heat. That was an axe
Was it
button.
an axe
That
button?
was an axe button. All right.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for both of our competitors. Look at the big swings for Andrea Hand, stand number 2. But look who is bringing the speed. It's Andrea Hand on stand number 1. She's working it, but they are turning at the same time, folks. You got to really cheer them on. It is anyone's game. Big hits for both of our competitors. Look at the swing on Andrea Hand. She's hitting it hard. Oh boy, big glance from Andrea. She's maintaining her composure. She's using that slope. It's looking good. It is Andrea Hand. Andrea Hand right behind her. Wow, Andrea Hand from Quebec. She knew that national record was 34.97 seconds. She may have taken it with an unofficial time of 34.41 seconds. Not bad. She is chasing that national record. Andrea Hand with an equally great time, 35.85 seconds. That's gonna add up, especially once we get our final point standing.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Great news for both of our competitors. Andrea Hand with a new national record. We'll find out what that official time is very soon. But first, let's hear from Andrea Hand on how that cut went.
All right, folks, I'm here with Andrea Hand. Andrea Hand, a beautiful cut there, and officially 34.41. That's a new national record. What a way to rip it off and finish the standing block cut. That's 8 still points as well. Great position to be in. How does it feel to be the fastest standing block cutter in Canada?
It feels good. I've been training for it. I wanted it. I knew I had really tough athletes to compete against. My cut was not the best. I mean, my lines were a bit off, but yeah, great wood, and just really happy that I was able to do it.
A terrific cut here by Andrea Hand, running great here at the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship.
And it looks like the official time is actually 34.20 seconds for Andrea Hand. A fantastic national record in this event, and that is 2 disciplines down, 2 disciplines still to go in our 2024 Canadian Pro Women's Championship.
After the standing block chop discipline, Lindsay, we have our official STIHL Timbersports scoreboard. Leading the way, we have a tie for the overall, 14 points apiece. Andrea Hand and Andrea Hand. We just saw them both. They are both tied in our #1 spot after first 2 disciplines. Stephanie Naud right behind them, sitting at 3rd with 12 points. Caitlin Reed right behind them again, 9 points for her. She's sitting in 4th. Danielle Koch with 7 points, sitting in 5th place. 6th place, Marie Durieux, first time on the steel stage. She's got 6 points, sitting in 6th. Cam Finley in the 7th spot with 4 points, and Madeline McInnes also with 4 points. You know, everyone is within striking distance still. It's early. There's 2 events to go, the single buck and the underhand chop. And depending on where these athletes' strengths are, those may be the key events for them where they earn those points back.
Exactly, and there's lots of competition still to happen. We've got great single buckers, we've got great choppers on this stage. Honestly, the championship is still anyone's game at this point, but Andrea Hand, what an incredible standing block chop.
Yeah, I mean, to set the national record, 34.2 seconds, just edging out Caitlin Reed's 34.97, you know, 0.7 of a second. She was razor thin on that one, Lindsay.
Absolutely, and she held on for at least 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Caitlin Reed with that time, she was feeling good about that cut, especially after the stock saw. We've had a bit of a dicey run for her so far, but she really pulled it together for the standing block.
Yeah, beautiful cut by Caitlin. I mean, that was absolutely incredibly impressive. And then you have Andrea Hand. Boy, they were both hungry for that record. They knew it was in striking distance, and they went for it. You saw a couple missed hits by Andrea. Unfortunately, she didn't probably deliver the cut she wanted, but they know it's there. And if we have the same wood next year, well, you could see it again broken.
Possibly.
But a big shout out to our official sponsor of the Standing Block Chop, EcoFan. EcoFan is the original wood stove fan since 1994. We're a big... we're thrilled to have EcoFan on this year, Lindsay. Fantastic supporter of the Steel Timber Sports Series here in Canada.
You got it. And the top 3 athletes will actually receive an EcoFan at the end of the competition.
Do we get one as
I
well?
don't think so.
Oh, we can be top 3. We control the results here somehow.
We do.
I'm being told we should state we do not control the results. They are determined through the athletic competition. We have nothing to do with them.
And it looks like we're going to invite our timber team out to the crowd. Once again, you got to put your hands in the air. It looks like we've got Steel Timber Sports hats coming out to you folks. So put your hands in the air, make some noise. They're going to be throwing them out. Keep your hands in the air. They're throwing them into the air, folks. Even the ones on the side, you got to make some noise as well, folks. It's a great party out here in Prospera Place, Kelowna, BC.
With 2 events down, Lindsay, and 2 to go, this competition is far from over. And up next, it's going to be the single buck.
Looks like we're about ready for our next discipline. Let's learn a little bit more about the single buck.
Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
And of course, the single buck is sponsored by Busch Beer. That is smooth taste and great value with Busch Beer. Coming up on stand number 1 in the first heat of the single buck, make some noise for Caitlin Reed!
Head to head with Caitlin on stand number 2, it's Cameron Finley. Now you see, we have 2 individuals on the stage. These are 2 of our pro athletes. Scott Reed on stand 1, Thomas Henderson on stand 2. They're gonna act as assistants. They're gonna put a wedge into the cut and open that cut up while the athletes are cutting through. And that takes the pressure off the saw so that it can move quicker through the cut. We don't do that in the men's pro division. We do it in the women's division as well as in the rookies, and it actually leads to faster times, Lindsay.
It absolutely does, and Cameron Finley looking to get a fast time on this. A DQ in her standing block chop.
Yeah.
Kind of a rough cut for her, but not her favorite event. She definitely prefers the single buck or even the underhand as well.
For sure, yep. I think just being here too for Cam, this is an opportunity for great experience on the stage. Caitlin has tons of experience on the stage. She's our 2016 champion. She's been around the game for a while. She loves the single buck. She's always been a phenomenal single bucker.
An excellent sawyer on stand number 1, Caitlin Reed. And Cam Finley, no slouch at all. She's looking to get a good time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these saws here?
Yeah, so these are 6'1", 6'2" racing saws, finely tuned just for racing.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And it's a smooth start for both of our competitors. Caitlin Reed looking good. You got to make some noise for both of your competitors out here. It's Cam Finley on stand number 2. Caitlin Reed making their way through their block. Cam Finley looking good. A bit of a catch for Caitlin Reed. She's not letting that stop her out. There we go. Come on, Cam, right behind. Nicely done. Nice opening heat for both of our competitors. Caitlin Reed setting an unofficial time of 22.17 seconds. Great time to start. Cameron right behind with 27 seconds, a good cut. Our judges are going to be checking and making sure that both are good cuts. They'll make the final call right in a second.
We have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news. Caitlin Reed taking that heat with an unofficial time of 22.17 seconds.
We're good to go. All right, here with Caitlin Reed. Caitlin, you got through that cut, little hang there on the way through, but overall the saw seemed to like the wood. Was it a bit hungry? Talk us through, you know, what's going through your mind as you're working through that cut?
Oh, that saw is very hungry, so I actually have to remind myself not to weight the saw. It's very aggressive and it cuts beautifully, but it's just operator error in that one. That's all it was.
When you say weight the saw, how do you apply pressure and apply weight, or not apply weight in this case?
It's all really about just putting torque on your hands and arms, and it's a full body. So every muscle is pulling and hoping that it goes well. And I mean, I could have done a lot better, but I'll take it for now.
All right, Caitlin Reed doing a great job here at the Canadian Championships in Kelowna.
1 heat down, 3 heats still to go for the Busch Beer single buck discipline. Great start for official time for Caitlin Reed at 22 seconds flat. That is going to be the time to beat, and our next heat could definitely show some great times. We've got Marie Duriot and Danielle Koch coming up in just a second.
Yeah, either one of them could come up here and set a fantastic cut, that's for sure.
Coming up on stand number 1 for Heat 2, it's Marie Duriot!
Head-to-head with Marie on stand number 2, Andrea LaSalle. We have more pro athletes up on the stage helping out. Jeff Larkin on 1, and your reigning Canadian champion, Ben Cumberland on stand 2. Big hand for Ben. He won his 2nd national title yesterday. Andrea is going to come up and... Oh, we're waiting on Danielle Koch. Okay. Please welcome Danielle Koch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on me. Not bad. You know.
Way to go, Ryan. And like we said, we heard from Marie on stand number 1. She's surprised she's here, but honestly, she's making it known that she's here for a reason. She's had a great run so far. Had 45 seconds in the standing block chop, looking to get a great time. And, you know, we're really happy to have Marie here for the very first time on the STIHL Timbersports stage.
Yeah, she's been training a ton. She looked great in the qualifier. And this is an event that, of course, Jeff Larkin, he's run the single buck for Team Canada. That's a pretty good coach to have. Danielle's been running great single buck for years.
Absolutely. We see Jeff Larkin on stand number 1 as well, helping wedge.
That's right. Full body workout, as Caitlin said. Push and pull. Read the saw, read the wood. Danielle getting it perfectly set up for her foot placement.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. It's your next heat of the single buck. Look at the speed that Danielle Koch is bringing on stand number 2. She is working every single tooth of that saw, folks. She's buried down through the center of that block. Keep it going for Danielle Koch. Marie Duriot on stand 1. Getting through it, but it's Danielle Koch for 18 seconds. Marie Duriot still powering down, a little bit caught up at the end there, but she's got it. What a great time unofficially for Danielle Koch, 18.32 seconds. A great time, and she's going to be happy with that at the end of this discipline.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Great news, Danielle Koch showing us why she's been on the STIHL Timbersports stage for over 10 years now. She was your very first pro women's champion, and she's looking to take that podium spot yet again.
All right, gang, here with Danielle Koch taking down that heat of the single buck, 18.10 seconds. Danielle, talk us through that cut a bit.
I'm fairly happy with how it felt. It was nice and smooth. Saw around well. I think I could have worked it a little harder. I was sort of shooting for a 16, so when I saw the clock, I wasn't completely happy, but you know, that was a solid cut to put up.
Great cut. Danielle, you're running good here today. We've got one event left, the underhand chop. Where do you place yourself? How do you feel about the underhand going into that final event?
I feel like I usually would place in the middle to top of the field for the underhand. I think the key is just go fast.
Go fast. Let's watch her go fast. She just went fast in the single buck and about to do the same in the underhand. Big hand, Danielle Koch, your 2014, the original Canadian champion right here again in Kelowna. Big hand for Danielle, representing Canada on the biggest stage. Well done, Danielle.
But don't go anywhere, folks. We have our next heat of the single buck coming up next on stand number 1. Make some noise for Andrea Hand. And on stand number 2, it's Madeline McInnes. Great run for Danielle Koch, setting the time to beat with 18.10 seconds. That's a personal best for her. Like she said, she was hoping for 16. 18's great though. It's the top time to beat right now. And both of these competitors on the stage right now, Andrea Hand, Madeline McInnes, great sawyers. Andrea Hand had a great run in her standing block chop. We could expect a great time from both of them.
Yeah, I think either one could possibly take that time down. That's going to be a tough time to beat, though. 18 seconds on this wood, the way it's pulling seems to be probably in that range. We've got 2 very tough sawyers yet to come in our final heat, Stephanie and Andrea Hand. But this heat right here, I'm interested to see how both of these competitors pull this saw. I think at this point, Madeline, she knows where she's sitting in points. She's got none to lose here. She's got to go hard. Andrea, she's been running great all day. She wants big points, but you need consistent points. You got to go get those points and get into the chops, which I know she's itching for.
She can do it.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for both of our competitors. Andrea Hand looking good, but it's Madeline McInnes who is just bringing the speed on stand number 2. You gotta make some noise for them. They're about halfway through. They gotta keep pushing through. And it's Madeline McInnes right there at 15.95 seconds. Andrea Hand right behind at 17.03. This is where we knew we'd see Madeline McInnes shine. She had a DQ in the very first stock saw, but it is the single buck where she knew she would get it back.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Great cut for both of our competitors. Madeline McInnes, we're gonna hear from her in just a second.
All right, gang, I'm here with Madeline McInnes. Madeline, that was a beautiful cut in the single buck. You ripped it off. It says 15.95 unofficially. That might drop a little bit. Talk us through that, because it's a beautiful cut.
I've been working really hard on single buck for the past 2 years, so I've learned to hone my skills of just focusing and breathing before I start, and I let the saw do the work.
Well, I think the SAW did some of the work. I think some of that pushing and pulling you did. We just dropped that time to 15:78. A great cut by Madeline McInnes. I think you were hugging that national record there too. She went for it. Great cut here by Madeline in Kelowna, the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship.
That's right, Ryan. Madeline McInnes has a time of 15.78 seconds. Andrea Hand walking away with 16.79, bumping Danielle Koch out of that first place position and into third. We still have one more heat still to go, and that's Andrea LaSalle and Stephanie Naud. So anything can happen. It looks like we're ready for our next heat coming up on stand number 1. Make some noise for Andrea LaSalle!
And on stand number 2, Stephanie Naud. More pros on stage. Marcel Dupuis and Carson Bischoff up there lending a hand.
Andrea LaSalle having a great day so far, taking that first place position in the standing block chop. Yep. She's going to be riding the high of taking that first spot in the standing block, moving into the single buck. But Stephanie Naud looking to gain back those points that she lost in the standing block. She can do it with the single buck. Yeah, both of these Sawyers incredibly competent. Stephanie's a former world record holder, national record holder in this event. The fact that both of them come out of Quebec, both train with JP Mercier, one of the great saw makers and filers in the world, that's a huge advantage. That's why they're in this final heat. Either one of them could drop this national record, world record. You never know. So anything in the 14 range, it's possible on this wood. It's very possible. The world record in this event is 14.24 seconds. And with the wood we've been having this weekend, it's very possible that we could get another world record in this event. Pins and needles here.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here it is, folks. It's the last heat of the single buck. It's a great start for both of our competitors. It looked like side by side through the wood, and it's Stephanie Naud who is making her way through it. But it's Andrea LaSalle on stand number 1 right behind her. Who's it going to be? It's Stephanie Naud! Right behind Andrea LaSalle with 21.30 seconds. Stephanie with an unofficial time of 15.90. Looks like Madeline McInnes might hang on to her time of 15.78. We'll find out what the official time is in just a second.
And we've got 2 good cuts.
There you go, folks. Your 2 competitors from the great province of Quebec looking to take home their first one for Andrian and maybe a second for Stephanie Naud.
Don't worry about stepping on my feet. All right, gang, here with Stephanie Naud, wrapping up our single buck. Stephanie, pretty smooth cut. It's 15 and change. We'll get the official time here soon. How did you feel about the cut overall? It looked pretty smooth.
It was smooth. The saw was cutting a lot, thanks to JP. But I could have put a bit more speed to it. The wood's really good and soft, so the wood, it's a little bit more grabby on the saw, so I couldn't pick up the speed that I wanted. But I'm pretty happy with the cut. I was looking forward for a really good race with Andriane, but she got a bit of a... she had to redo her starter cut, so I was looking forward to a good race. I'm sure she would have gotten a really good time too.
Yeah, unfortunately, Andrea didn't have a great cut there, but she's doing well otherwise. But you're doing great. We've got 3 events down. We're moving into our final event, the underhand chop. You remember what happened here last year in the underhand chop? I remember it vividly. World record set on this stage. This is great wood. Is that the sort of thing that you think about going into this, or do you just step up on the stage and put a cut in?
Up until a couple weeks ago, I was thinking to bring that record down, but now Erin Lavoie took that world record with 23 seconds, so it might be hard to get back, but I'm definitely gonna give it my all and try to chop it as fast and hard as I can.
All right, keep an eye on Stephanie Naud. She's chasing down her 3rd national title right here in Kelowna, the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship.
And we had Madeline McInnes set that time to beat of 15.78 seconds, and it looks like Stephanie Naud knocked that out with 15.71 seconds. So she is taking that first place position in the single buck discipline. We have 3 disciplines down, 1 discipline still to go. It's the underhand chop. And looking at our standings right now, in 8th position, we have Cameron Finley. In 7th position, Marie Duriot. In 6th position, Madeline McInnes. In 5th position, Danielle Koch. In 4th position, Caitlin Reed with 12 points. In 3rd position, Andrea Hand with 18 steel points, and tied with 20 points each, Stephanie Naud and Andrea Hand in the 1st and 2nd position.
Wow.
It is going to be a tight race to the finish, folks.
No doubt about it. Tied, and they will be in the final heat, head-to-head in the underhand. It'll all come down to that, Lindsay.
It will, but first, before our last discipline, we're going to invite our timber team back out to the audience. We've got cookies from our single buck and our stock saw. You want to put your hands in the air, grab one of those souvenirs to take home. Our athletes are going to be coming out after the show. They can sign the cookies for you, so you have a piece of Steel Timber Sports history to take with you on the way home. Keep your hands up, folks. Wave those flags in the air if you want to take home a Steel Timber Sports cookie.
Incredibly tight race there, all the way at the top here. I mean, it's a 3-person race for the most part. There are 8 points to be awarded in the underhand. Caitlin Reed, Danielle Koch tied at 12 points, tied at that 4th position. They are in striking distance, but with Andrea Hand, Stephanie Naud, Andrea Hand at that 18, 20-point area, boy, it's going to take a lot to knock them off the podium. They're in a beautiful position going into the final event, Lindsay.
They are, but you heard Danielle Koch. She's hungry for that podium again, so she's going to be working. Same with Caitlin Reed. They both have had great runs so far. Nobody's had in that top 5 position have had any real bobbles, so honestly, they could take it, and they're all great choppers.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens. Stephanie talked about the wood being there. I think Stephanie with Andrea, it's all on the line when it comes to the underhand.
Exactly. Now let's hear a little bit more about the underhand chop.
Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
Okay, folks, we're ready for Heat 1 of the underhand chop. Coming up on stand number 1, it's Madeline McInnes.
Head-to-head with Madeline on stand number 2, it's Cameron Finley. You see these logs on stage. They prepared them earlier in the day. They've cut flat placings. We call them footholds. Those are areas where they can stand comfortably on top of that log and cut in between their feet. They've drawn 45-degree lines that they'll try to follow in order to cut these logs, slicing through the fibers efficiently.
Exactly.
And hopefully have a fast time.
Exactly, and you can see both of our competitors brought 2 axes up onto the stage with them, not just 1.
Yeah, if something happens and goes awry and you break a handle or chip an axe, you can set it aside, grab another one. Very rare, doesn't happen very often, but it's good to be safe. You don't want to be up there with half an axe in your hand.
Exactly, and speaking of safety, they do have shin guards on that go all the way down to their toes.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. Make some noise for your first heat of the underhand chop. We've got Madeline McInnes all the way from Niagara Falls, Ontario on stand number 1, and Cameron Finley from Westchester Station, Nova Scotia. They're far from home, but they're doing great up on the stage. You got to cheer them on, folks. All right, and it's Madeline McInnes on stand number 1, first to turn, and Cameron Findlay right on her tail. Here we go, big swings. Look at the sharp hits from Madeline McInnes on stand number 1. The big pieces, they're coming out. That's exactly what she wants to do. She's hitting her marks. She's reaching down, getting those blocks out. Here we go. Cameron Findlay on stand number 2. We're at the 50-second mark, folks. They are working hard, and they could use your support out there. And it's Madeline McInnes on stand number 1, finishing first with an unofficial time of 56 seconds. And it's Cameron Findlay on stand number 2. She's not giving up here. Taking a second to breathe. Her arms are burning, but she's powering through the pain. She's got it. Judges taking a look at the blocks, making sure nobody is cut through a foothold. If they did cut into their foothold, that would equal a DQ.
And we have 2 good cuts.
But it's 2 good cuts. Fantastic news for both Cameron Findlay and Madeline McInnes, walking away with smiles on their faces. They're feeling good about that cut. That's a finished cut. That's good news.
Okay, folks, here with Madeline McInnes. Madeline, you took down that heat of the underhand. You were hitting really hard. You were moving lots of wood. It seemed the axe seemed to be chipping well. You happy with that cut overall?
Yeah, I wish it would be faster, and my lines to be a little bit better, but there's always work to be done for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Always work to be done. No question about it. You're early in your timber sports career. This is only the 2nd time we've seen you on the STIHL Timber Sports stage. Many years to come. You've finished off all 4 disciplines now. We'll have to see where the points lie, but talk us through this championship as a whole, Madeline.
I mean, I was really focused on my single buck for this year and standing. I think I could have worked a little bit more on stock saw, and maybe it would have cleared up that DQ, but it's all good.
Yeah, you shake off the DQ. We've all lived through those. But how about that single buck? What a great second showing for Madeline McInnes right here, the next generation of women's athletes in Canada, right here in Kelowna at the 2024 STIHL Timber Sports Canadian Championship.
One heat down, 3 heats still to go in the underhand chop. Coming up next, we'll have Marie Duriot versus Andrea LaSalle. Andrea LaSalle up there. They're in the 2nd position after the first 3 events. We got 1 more here to go. She's going to be looking to get as many points as possible. All right, folks, for our next heat coming up on stand number 1, it's Marie Duriot.
Head-to-head with Marie, it's Andrea LaSalle.
Sounds like Marie's got a lot of support here in Prospera Place, Kelowna, BC, for our 2024 STIHL Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship. We love having fans in the crowd. It's been a great crowd out here before. We all having a good time, folks.
Great crowd here.
It's been a great time here in Kelowna, BC, this entire series, but it's Marie Duriot versus Andrea LaSalle up next. Andrea LaSalle, she's in your 2nd place spot after 3 disciplines. But Marie Duriot, first time on the STIHL Timber Sports stage. Yeah. She's made quite the impression so far, and she's looking to get a great time in the underhand.
Yeah, likes the underhand chop too. Been training a lot with Jeff Larkin. Andrea LaSalle, also a very competent.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go. Looking good for our 3rd heat. Second heat in the underhand chop. Looking good. Marie Duriot looking good. Opening up that backside very well. Here we go. Andrea LaSalle on stand number 2. You can see her snapping back on her knees. But it's Marie Duriot who on stand number 1, first to turn. Andrea LaSalle right on her, right behind her, getting those big hits in, making sure she's hitting her marks. Marie Duriot on stand number 1. It's her first time on the stage. Make some noise for her. She does it! Nicely done, Marie. Andrea LaSalle right behind with an unofficial time of 39.18 seconds, but it's Marie Duriot, first time on the stage doing the underhand with a great time of 33.67 unofficial time. That is knocking out our first heat and bringing us into the 30-second mark.
And we've got 2 good cuts.
Big cheers as 2 great cuts from 2 great competitors, Marie Duriot and Andrea LaSalle. We're gonna hear from Marie about how that chop went. Great work.
To finish your first time on the Steel Timber Sports stage, 33.43 seconds. That is an incredible cut. How are you feeling after that? That was a beautiful underhand.
Felt like that was the redemption round. I'm happy that that's done now.
So, first time on the big stage. It's a bit of a different feeling than your local logger sports competitions. What does it mean to you to be here at the National Championships competing at the highest level in the sport in Canada?
It's great. I love it. I'm happy I don't have to just embarrass myself in front of one person now. I can do it in front of everyone, so I'm really happy.
Oh, not only that, you can also do it on national television, on TSN later this fall. Great job, Marie. Beautiful job here today. It is no easy feat to be here. She did incredible stuff, and a 33.43 second cut is our new leading time in the underhand chop, our final discipline here at the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championships.
Great work to Marie. 2 heats down, 2 heats still to go in our last discipline of the 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship. It's been a great weekend so far. And of course, after our competition today, we also have our Hot Saw Showdown starting at 4:30. So you want to stick around. We've got more sawing coming up and more heats still to go. 2 more heats still to go in the underhand chop. All right, we're ready for our next heat. On stand number 1, make some noise for Caitlin Reed.
And head-to-head with Caitlin, stand number 2, Danielle Koch.
Caitlin Reed having a great day so far. She's come out, done a great standing block, a great single buck.
Yeah.
And honestly, Danielle Koch also having a good day,
Not too bad, middle of the pack on the single buck, middle in the stock saw.
That's exactly where she wants to be. She wants to get as many points as she can in the underhand, and she can do it. An extremely great chopper, both of them.
Yeah, but how about that cut from Marie there? Yeah, that was incredible.
That was great.
Looks so good, 33 and change.
Yeah, absolutely. A new personal best for Marie Duriot at 33.43 seconds. That is the time to beat.
And listen, Andrea LaSalle was right behind her. She's just 3 seconds behind.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go. Explosive start for Andrea Hand, or Danielle Koch on stand number 2, looking really great. But look at the big hits from Caitlin Reed on stand 1. She's using that power. She's turning first. She knows she's done, but it's Danielle Koch on stand number 2. She's catching up. It's going to be a quick heat. A bit of a step down for Caitlin Reed. She's regained her balance. She's hitting those marks. There we go. Those are the big hits. She's finally getting those chips out. And it's Danielle Koch on stand number 2. She's making up the time here, folks. Make some noise for them. Here we go. We're at the 43-second mark for both of our competitors. It looks like Danielle Koch is driving off. She knows she's close. There she is. There we go. Keep it going for Caitlin Reed on stand number 2. She is giving it everything she's got. Big hits. Almost there. That is one tough piece of timber. She's not giving up. Almost there, Caitlin. You got it. Here we go. That's a big thought. You can do it, Caitlin. Wow. That was to one tough block for Caitlin Reed. She got through it with an unofficial time of 1.15 seconds. Danielle Koch, though, stand number 2, looking good with 50.40 seconds. Oh no, looks like we have a yellow penny thrown by Judge Jonathan Russell.
Okay, we're going to do a video review on this stand here for a possible jump gun.
Happens, folks. So the athletes cannot start until the go. Judges will take a look at the video, make sure that Danielle does not have a jump gun. She had a quick start. It looked really fast to me, very explosive. Hopefully it was within the time. Nothing like making the athletes sweat a little bit in the last heat of the second to last heat in the last discipline.
Okay, after video review, we have 2 good cuts.
A sigh of relief for Danielle Koch. She's going to be happy with that time, an unofficial time of 50.40 seconds. That's in the 3rd place position after 3 heats in the underhand shop. 1 more heat still to go. You're going to want to stick around for it.
All right, folks, here with Danielle Koch. Danielle, a little bit of drama there. They were kind of playing it up whether or not you're going to have a jump gun. It looked clean to me. I thought you were pretty good. Overall, talk us through that cut. How'd you feel about the underhand in general?
Well, I knew I didn't jump the gun. I was quite clear on that, but I was probably close enough for them to need to look it over. Front side was fine. Would have liked to have done it in a few less hits, but I was pretty happy with it. The back side of that block, oh boy, me and Caitlin had the same experience. It was like a completely different log. It was just tough wood, the chips weren't coming out. It just took so much longer to cut than I would have liked, and I was putting everything I had into it, but that's just the way things go sometimes. It's the log you get.
Yeah, I mean, we do a random draw for logs. You don't know the log you're going to get, and no 2 pieces of wood are the same. You hope for a nice soft piece, but I guess you only got half of that this time. All right, I want to talk about this championship. It's your 10th. This is the 10th year of the Women's Championship. You were first ever champion back in 2014, still going strong here in 2024. Still a contender for the podium. We'll see where the points land after this event. May still have a spot there. What does it mean to you to have this women's series still going, developing, building, seeing these great new competitors jump on the stage, competing with you? Marie Durie from Alberta, the next generation of Albertan woodchoppers. You know, what does this all mean to you, Danielle?
Well, I think you already said it all, Ryan. It's been amazing since the first year. Everything's gotten so much better and so much more competitive every year. There were only 2 of us on stage in the first year, and it's grown. And the number of competitors, the quality of competitors, the magnitude, having events in a big arena like this in a fantastic place like Kelowna. And I think it's just going to keep on getting better. The quality of the ladies who are here, the athletes are just, they're so good now. You can't come in and not be 100%. You know, I had a devastating injury last year, and I'm not completely healed from it, but I made it here. And that's not to say that, I know I could have done better. I would have liked to finish on the podium, but you can't not be 100% with these ladies. They bring it, and they're just going to keep on getting better. And I'm tired.
Well, I think you're allowed to be tired. You just blasted through 4 STIHL Timbersports disciplines. I want to hear it, Kelowna. This is your very first Canadian champion, still up here, going strong, battling injuries, and showing you how it's done on the STIHL Timbersports stage at the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship. Well done, Danielle.
All right, folks, we're ready for our final heat of our 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Women's Championship. Coming up on stand number 1, she's defending her title. It's Stephanie Naud! And on stand number 2, make some noise for Andrea Hand! Hand.
It all comes down to this, folks. Going into this heat, Andrea LaSalle with her underhand shot puts her leading the way with 25 points. Andrea and Stephanie still sitting at 20. They're guaranteed a spot on the podium. If either one of them put in a faster time than Andrea, they're moving up a spot on that podium. But what happens? What happens if one of them sets an incredible time?
And possibly a world record. We may see it.
You never know.
Like you said, Stephanie Naud set a world record on this stage last year. Erin Lavoie.
Yeah, Erin Lavoie broke that record just recently. Beautiful cut down at the U.S. Championships.
She can take it. She knows she wants it.
You bet.
Athletes ready.
36:59. Time
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. The time to beat is 33.43 seconds. Look at the speed of Stephanie Naud on stand number 1. A bit of a touch off, but she's maintaining her speed. They're turning at the same time, folks. 12 seconds on the clock. Who's it going to be? Is it Stephanie or Andrea? It's going to be close. Last few hits, it could be anyone's game, and it's Andrea Hand. Keep it going for Stephanie Naud. Unbelievable. What a great run for Andrea Hand. Big hugs for both of our competitors. That's what we love to see on this stage. Competitors supporting competitors. My goodness, Andrea Hand knew what she needed to do. That was 26.45 seconds, unofficial time, knocking out Marie Duriot's time of 33.43 seconds. The judges will make the final call, and we will find out who our champion is soon.
We have 2 good cuts.
2 fantastic cuts. Andrea Hand, what a stellar event. She came here looking for another championship, and we'll find out soon if she's taken that home. Once we add up all of our steel points, what a great run for both of our competitors. Stephanie Naud putting a great time, 31.28 seconds. A little bit of a step up, might have slowed her down a bit, but Andrea Hand had a fantastic run. She's got lots of crowd in the, lots of people supporting her in the crowd. Can we make some noise for both of our competitors?
The same thing as last year. You two went head-to-head in the final heat of the final event to decide who was going to take home their first national, or who was going to take home the national title last year, and we're here again this year. You put in an incredible cut. Official time, 26.20. Just not that far off a world record. That's an incredible cut. Andrea, that's got to feel like redemption. It's got to feel like everything. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, that was amazing. I wasted 1 hit there. I've got nothing to be sad about. It was great. I mean, going in tied again is, I know it may sound weird, but I loved it. I love going up against Stephanie. It pushes me, and I know it pushes her, and I think it makes us better for it.
No doubt about it. You guys are running at an incredible pace there. And, I mean, we've got to look at the point totals, but I think it's pretty safe to say we're looking at a brand new national champion here in Canada. Her first ever championship. Andrea, congratulations. What does it mean to you to be standing at the top of the podium here in Canada, and now an opportunity to go represent Canada at the International Women's Cup?
I mean, it means the world to me. I had a couple tough years with a really horrific injury that I came back from, and I've had all the support in the world that started with Carl Bischoff, Sterling Hart, Mitch Hewitt, and I've got Brad Reed in my corner, and all my family and friends up here watching. So yeah, it feels pretty damn good to be here.
All right. Well, a big hand for Andrea, absolutely delivering her finest performance yet on the steel stage. Incredible stuff in Kelowna at the 2024 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship.
Thank you, Ryan. And of course, we have to hear from Stephanie Naud.
Okay, gang, I'm here with Stephanie Naud. Stephanie, a great cut in the underhand. You know, a few sticky swings there, but I mean, you ran into to Andrea and she was cutting well. It all came down to that final heat. Once again, she got you this time. You got her last time. What does it mean to you to be competing at such a high level here in Canada now, where you never know who's going to take this championship? It could go 4 different, 5 different people, 8 different people, really. You did great here today, though. I mean, you're second on the podium. Talk us through this championship.
Thank you, Ryan. You said it, it's amazing to be competing against all these amazing athletes. The level keeps rising in the women's field, so that's really awesome to see. Newcomers too. It's great, it pushes us to get better. That underhand cut was not the one I was looking for. I think my first hit went in really deep and I got a bit too excited about it, so I undercut my front and my lines were all over the place, so I wasn't fully focused on that one. Still a pretty good cut, but Andrea deserves the title 100%, and I want to thank everybody back home watching and all the crowd that's here today. My boyfriend's here too, and my sponsors for this year, Maple from Canada and West Brome Sawmill.
All right, big hand for Stephanie Naud. She's a 2-time national champion, and I bet you she's got a few more in the belt ready to go. Incredible job from her, and thanks so much, Kelowna, for the 2024 Stihl Timbersports Canadian Championships. What a great day we're having here, Stephanie, huh?
And don't go anywhere, folks. We have our award ceremony coming up next. And of course, the underhand chop sponsored by our title sponsor, Boston Pizza. As Canada's biggest sports bar, there's no better place to visit before and after the Canadian Championships more than Boston Pizza. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. And of course, do stick around. We have our award ceremony coming up soon.
Incredible day here, Lindsay, just wrapping it all up. You saw Andrea Hand deliver at such a high level today. Wins in 2 events, 3rd place in 2 events, 28 points overall, a win in the final event, the clutch event, the underhand chop. Has to win that event, does it in dramatic fashion, smashing, setting a new national record at 26.20, a beautiful cut from her.
It truly was a phenomenal performance for both Andrea Hand, Stephanie Naud in the 2nd place position equally, and Andrea LaSalle, 2nd time on the stage.
Yeah.
Looking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're seeing it. We're seeing the progression. You heard so many of the athletes talk about it. The sport keeps getting better and better, and we've got some future champions on the stage here today.
We really do, but first, we have more giveaways. Make some noise where Timber Team is coming back out to the crowd. We've got hats, we've got merchandise, so make some noise, put your hands in the air, wave those flags, they want to see ya. This has been an incredible crowd here at Kelowna at Prospera Place, an absolutely stellar host city. We hope to be back here again and again. These people know how to have a good time here for our 2024 Stihl Timbersports Canadian Women's Championship.
Just looking back through, Lindsay, 2 of the 4 events we saw national records, both the standing block and the underhand chop. Again, we saw that in the men's pro championship yesterday. We're seeing it again in the women's championship. Goodwood, lots of records. I love seeing this.
It truly is. It's been a great event so far. No injuries, very few DQs. That's a good day all around. Some great cuts, some great times. And we're going to be crowning our champion in just a few seconds.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to start our award ceremony, but first we want to thank again our title sponsor, Boston Pizza, and our event sponsors, Busch Beer, Toyo Tires, and EcoFan. Now, before we bring out our athletes, we have to first bring out and thank our incredible official Stihl Timbersports judges, Roger Briscoe, Darren Colford, and conducting judge, Jonathan Russell. These guys worked hard all weekend long. They still have more work to do in our Hot Sauce Showdown, but a great competition. A couple of hard calls to make this time, but they did a great job. Big thank you to our official Steel Timber Sports judges.
Very fortunate to have a great, competent judging team here in Canada. Makes all the difference.
Absolutely. All right, now we got to bring out the rest of our athletes. We have Cameron Finley, Madeline McInnes, Caitlin Reed, Marie Durio, Danielle Koch.
Fantastic runs. Marie making her debut on the stage, finishing 5th overall. Danielle in the 4th position, just missing out on that podium. I mean, just fantastic. You're seeing the future of the women's division. You're seeing the originators of the women's division. I love seeing this, the development of this series. Incredible.
Let's have another big hand for your Steel Timber Sports athletes. And as we said before, the top 3 will also receive an Eco-Fan coming up. Presented by Josh Clark, event specialist of Steel Timber Sports Canada. Your 3rd place position, it's Andrea LaSalle!
Just her 2nd time on the Steel Timber Sports stage. An incredible finish to make the podium, to run as well as she did, to set a national record in the standing block. What a day for her, Lindsay. Incredible. And she's just getting started.
She really is. She, like you said, this is the future of Steel Timber Sports. Coming up here all the way from Quebec, getting on that 3rd place podium in the 2nd year that she's been doing Steel Timber Sports. What an achievement for Andrea LaSalle.
Great job from Andrea. Big hand for her, Kelowna. Finishing 2nd overall, our 2nd place trophy will be presented by Jason McNichol, the National Operations Manager of Steel Canada. Please welcome to the stage with 27 overall steel points, Stephanie Naud.
A great day for Stephanie Naud. She wanted to get that 1st place position right behind our 1st place was 27 steel points. A great run for her. She's had an excellent year. And, well, of course, I know we're going to be seeing her back on this stage next year.
Oh, yeah, just getting started. 2 national titles already. So close to that. 1 point away from a 3rd one. That's, you know, she's a true contender. Big, good friends there. Friends and former coach Stephanie of Andrea Hand. I'm sure she's so proud just to see her protege up on the podium with her.
Big hand for Stephanie Naud, folks! And finally, presented by Jeff Loosemore, Marketing Manager of Steel Canada, your 2024 Canadian Women's Champion, it's Andrea Hand! Andrea came out and absolutely dominated this competition from start to finish. A great run, every single discipline she walked away happy from, and she's going to be super happy to raise that 1st place trophy.
You know, a win in the stock saw to start, a win in the underhand to finish. She ran great, and as she said, she came back from a serious skidoo injury a couple of years ago, and she's back here at the top of her game, the top level, looks great, and I think she's just getting started, Lindsay. Great job by Andrea Hand taking home her 1st national championship here in Canada.
Presented by Jeff Loosemore, Marketing Manager of Steel Canada. Let's have a big hand for your 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Champion! And of course, as is tradition, we have our champagne shower! There you have it, folks. Your 2024 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship is over. Andrea Hand walking away with that championship. Thank you so much for coming out here today, folks. And stick around. In 30 minutes, we're going to begin our Hot Sauce Showdown. That is going to be an incredible event. You're not going to want to miss it. And of course, thank you to all of our staff, our crew, volunteers, wood crew, And thank you all to the fans for coming out and supporting Steel Timber Sports. Make sure you join us in the fall as this will air on TSN and you can watch the action again and again.
What an incredible finish here to the Steel Timber Sports Canadian Women's Championship, Lindsay. We see Andrea at the top of her game. An incredible run by her. What more can you say about the Women's Championship?
It was incredible. An incredible day here at Prospera Place in Kelowna, BC. A great host city. It's been an awesome time, and we'll see you next year.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to invite all of the Steel Timber Sports staff and volunteers to the stage as we will have our photo taken. Once again, Steel Timber Sports staff, volunteers, and athletes to the stage for our traditional photo.